Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Heartland Mamas. I'm Murray Briel.
And I'm Heidi Henry, and we're coming to you from the edge of the Great Red Divide. And tonight, Murray, we're going to talk about the debate.
Oh, the debates were an absolute joy. After watching the impeachment testimony for 2 days nonstop, it was. I know this is part of why I was excited, but it was also really exciting to see them hit topics they haven't yet covered.
Right.
To start pushing different messages and plans substantively.
They're building out their platforms, and I really enjoyed hearing all the different takes on different things.
I gotta say, some of them really came up in my eyes.
Well, I know there's one person in particular I thought was a one-trick pony, and that would be Andrew Yang.
I was right.
Well, except that
Sorry, that was really
the only thing I ever would really relate him to is universal income, and I realize it's fun being Mr. Universal Income, but I was like, but there's got to be more.
Oh yeah. No, I totally understand.
So last night we really learned a lot more about Andrew Yang as a person and his platform, and I thought, oh my God, this guy is amazing. I mean, I always thought he was amazing, but when you learn about more facets of his program, especially on cyber intelligence,
Here's the thing about Andrew Yang is that he is very forward thinking.
Yes.
And when Heidi and I were doing our pre-show, we talked about how it was regressive. Our policy is reactive. Everything we do as a legislation is
Yes.
reactive. I have tried, that was one of the things I wanted to do when I ran for Congress.
And when I was running for a state senate,
was to take a proactive approach.
Right.
See things coming down the pipe and help prevent them.
Right.
Not just try to band-aid them.
If you only plan for this fiscal year and try to clean up the mess from the previous fiscal years, and you don't think about the next decade and the next 20 years and the next 50 years and the next 1,000 years, you are in so much trouble. And I know our government, our people have become very complacent in how they do things, Murray. We always think that, oh, nothing will happen that we can't, get our way out of. Well, we've got serious issues coming up with climate and security and obviously
cyber warfare.
And foreign
powers.
relations.
So Andrew Yang he's sort of like the new Bernie in a way, where his ideas are far out
there.
of mainstream legislation.
Yeah.
And so it could be great to have him after Trump because we're in such chaos and disorder anyway. We're going to need to reshape things because we found where our vulnerabilities were.
Oh, yeah.
So he may be perfect. He would be perfect.
Yes.
But I'm not sure the country's ready for him.
We're ready for that discussion.
But ready for structural, foundational change after such chaos. I don't know. I could be wrong. I haven't figured that out yet.
And the thing is that he is so brilliant, and he's just thinking.
Love you, Andrew Yang.
Yeah, so far forward from where we are
Yang
right now.
I'm on your train.
Well, and that's kind of the cult-like following he has,
And he brings a lot of people to the table. A lot of people that were not involved, which I said in the beginning is he reminds me of Sanders. Yeah. Sanders pulled in this group of people who felt abandoned and not listened to by the Democratic Party. He was phenomenal for that. He was great. And I think Yang is the same way, but I don't feel like the Yang Gang are anything like the Bernie Bros.
Oh, God, I hope not.
No. I really don't.
You know that Yang is somebody to be respected as a candidate when Mayor Pete picks up his talking points and uses them as his very own. We saw that, Mayor Pete. And
which brings us to Mayor Pete.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So yeah. I am not a super fan of Mayor Pete.
Okay.
I really liked him in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he's great. He's well-spoken. He understands foreign policy. He's a military man.
Yeah.
All these things. And I love the fact that he's gay. I mean, there's a lot of really good points about him. And as I've grown to know him more and more, I like him less and less. There's in the beginning, I liked him, but there was an overconfidence.
He's very overconfident.
And I feel he's left so many issues out there on the table with his city, with the race relations in his city,
Race relations
with,
are going to be that's going to be his
and if he's not doing that
Waterloo.
in his microcosm,
Hmm.
how is he going to be able to do that on a national level? So
Right.
that
That's
that's
my concern
that's
with Pete. And
yeah.
the thing is that you and I have gone down to the Ben Joravsky show. So, listening to his podcast, we've heard all of this rhetoric about Mayor Pete and not talked about it ourselves on our podcast because we wanted to see if it had any feed or not. And it seems to be gaining some traction. And the thing is it's not disrespectful to him because I did actually, I didn't meet him, but I got to see him speak in person, and he is just so concise and so spot on, and he's so intelligent. And after the
But he thinks
chaos,
he's the smartest person in the room.
well, and after the chaos in the country right now, it's really nice to hear somebody that can make complete sentences, right? So we have a love affair right now with Mayor Pete, but the other thing that I noticed about Pete is he does seem to think that he is the smartest person in the room, even though he's not the only Rhodes Scholar, and we'll talk about him next. And I learned that last night. That was new. But
Oh, I
the
know.
thing with Pete is that when somebody talks and he's in the middle of talking, and he's just at the end, and somebody starts to talk, he cuts them off with another full, complete, big word, say nothing, Mayor Pete sentence. It's a sandwich sentence.
Sentence sandwich.
Yeah, it's a sentence sandwich. So, and if you listen to him speak, he'll go on and he'll use these big words, and it's just elaborating or continuing the same point. And he says it in such a way people stop talking to listen because they think they need to listen to him. And it's not that you don't, but I do also, Murray. I mean, I would not be upset if Andrew Yang primaries through, or if yeah, or if Mayor Pete
Yeah,
primaries
yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah.
Stop it. We're on
I
Pete right
said
now.
this months ago. Go ahead.
I know. But those are two people that would make wonderful presidents. So
Absolutely.
let's get to our next Rhodes Scholar.
Cory Booker. Cory Beautiful
Oh.
Eyes Booker.
I told you, Marie, I didn't meet him, but I stood in line in a selfie line at the steak fry in Iowa, and I wish I'd got my picture with him. No, except that he's really, really, really tall, and oh my God, is he handsome! He's got these eyes. Holy cow! He could sell me a pair of shoes,
You wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers?
Well, Stan might,
Oh, yeah. Stan probably wouldn't like that.
So Booker had, it's if you want to go ahead, and Booker had a really good night last night, I thought.
Yeah, I like Booker. Booker is a very intelligent guy. He is very relatable. He's charming. He did have a good night, but I didn't really hear too much new from him, I felt.
Now,
Where the other candidates took it in different directions.
I think the thing with Booker is he's been out there so long. You and I know a lot about his policies and how he thinks, and I think that because we do know him, we don't hear those things. I wish he'd gotten more time to speak last night because I thought he was rounding out his policy on foreign policy and rounding out his climate policy last night, and he got very little microphone time. So that was to his detriment. But he is an intelligent, well-spoken, well-versed man with lots of public relations and political chops. He does have the baggage of taking money from big pharma, and that does give me some pause. But
He's still better than what we currently
oh my
have
God, by
in the
leaps and
White
bounds!
House.
Can you imagine President Cory Booker? We would all be so proud. We'd
I'm
be
sorry,
flotsing.
all of these candidates except one that we're going to discuss, which we'll
Right.
talk about next.
Oh, you want to go there?
Oh, sweet Jesus. Would make fantastic presidents. Unfortunately, I do not think that Tulsi Gabbard, and
We
we've
did a
talked
complete
quite-
unroll.
Yeah,
on-
we did a
if
complete
you go
unroll
back,
on
if
Tulsi
you
Gabbard.
go back a couple episodes,
We'll link that in
yeah,
this one.
we. Oh my God, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. So, I think that's all we can say for her performance last night.
She had a very poor night last night. Very
Oh,
poor.
awful.
And the epic takedown by Harris And then she thought she could go to toe to toe with Mayor Pete, who actually saw combat, didn't
Tell me about the
serve in a
takedown.
combat medical unit way away from combat, from a hot zone. Tulsi, honey, you weren't really a soldier except for the uniform and putting Band-Aids on people, because you're not a trained medic. You're not a medical professional. That's where they put you so you wouldn't stick pins in yourself or shoot yourself in the foot. And when Hillary Clinton comes out and says there's somebody that's a Russian plant, and she doesn't
I think
say
it's about
names.
time we listen to her.
Well, but she didn't even name a name, and Tulsi Gabbard's like, well, she's talking about me. Well, apparently she is. Whoever smelled
You
it
know,
dealt
it's
it.
kind of yeah, exactly, and it's the guilt thing. You know, they
Yeah.
say that cheaters in a relationship will always accuse
Yeah.
their partner of their behavior, which we've talked about this too. This whole administration comes out
Projects.
Republicans, in the impeachment. They all, yeah, they
They project their crimes on somebody else.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
holy sweet
it's
Jesus.
like you just want Gabbard to be okay until she opens her mouth and sticks her foot in it, and then she has to have Harris just take her to her knees.
Oh, talk about Harris taking her down.
Okay, so and well, there's some really good videos, and you really should see these in person. But you know, for Mayor Pete, it was on. Well, I'm going to talk about that one because it was my favorite takedown, because she was talking about ways of having backdoor channels and foreign relations and so on. Well, right after the 2016 election, Gabbard tried to become part of the Trump administration. She did everything she could to get an interview with him, to get a place at the table. And she went to talk to every despot that Trump kisses up to. And Pete called her out on it, took her out at the knees, and Harris had done just so before. So the candidates aren't playing with her anymore. They're over, Tulsi.
Oh my goodness, I loved the comeback for her. Well,
loved it.
didn't meet with a murderous dictator.
I know.
That was
great.
awesome.
It's like-
especially since Trump
it's
just
like-
met with Erdogan.
It's
Side note, real quick, we talked about that briefly
Yeah.
in our last episode.
Right.
And I just wanted to say, do you think that there's any connection between Erdogan's meeting in the Oval Office?
oh my God, that makes me so mad.
And 3 days later breaking the ceasefire?
None at all. None at all.
there's
None at all.
Okay, back to the debate.
Okay.
You don't want to get off track too much.
So-
So you were saying, then we just talked about...
Let's talk about Amy Klobuchar, because she had a very good night last night.
Ah, yes.
So, do you want to go ahead and enlighten everybody about Klobuchar and how she did?
I think that she had a good night. She had good points. She was articulate and strong. I'm still not a super fan. I'm
Yeah.
still not like... There's something about her I just don't care for. And it may be her shakiness. So there's nothing about this anywhere. But even my 10-year-old who was watching last night with me, when she would speak, is like, Mom, why is she shaking? What's wrong? And it could be any number of things, from Tourette's to
Nerves.
to nerves, nervous tic, to Parkinson's disease. And I think that to me, not that she wouldn't be able to execute the duties, but that would be enough of a question, I think, in some voters' minds.
Well, and I think that, and I hate that phrase, likability, but she brings
She
some of
doesn't
the...
have a lot of that.
Well, and the thing is if she were a man with those same tics, would we say the same thing?
Yes,
Really?
I would. In a heartbeat.
Well, you would, but you
I
know,
would.
but I'd be nicer than that.
No. And it wasn't even like I mean, it's like she's... I don't think it was nerves. I think it's a neurological thing. Nancy Pelosi will have those moments.
Right.
Where she's very shaky.
Right.
It hasn't happened recently, but she did for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's in the water in DC.
Well,
or...
I think with Amy Klobuchar, I think she still has a lot of baggage from the Al Franken takedown. And I think that when I look at her, I think about that. And it doesn't leave me with a very favorable opinion of her, because I really do like him. It's not that I like her less, but that her and Gillibrand, who's since dropped out, those two women were part of that
Franken-Coup.
the Franken-Coup. So here's the thing with Klobuchar. If she became president, I'd be eminently happy. If she primaries through,
Absolutely.
I will work my butt off for her.
100%.
She's well spoken. She's thoughtful. She
is intelligent. She knows
Yeah.
how things work. She has ideas.
She knows how to write and pass bills.
Right, and she's got this
Actually, I hate to lose her in the Senate.
more right, but more center right, a
Yeah.
way to be able to keep the center okay and still push progressive ideas. The way she writes bills is rather artful.
Yes. So she's
really
she's
good
a
at that.
unifier, and she would be a good unifier for the party.
She would be great
So-
to. Although, if you're talking emotional, visceral, she wouldn't be who I would choose to heal the nation because people are emotional.
Yeah,
And
she's not.
is
Maybe that's my disconnect with her, and maybe yours too, because she's not emotional.
Yes,
Harris
very
is very
much.
emotional.
Warren is emotional.
Yeah.
Gabbard is a Russian bot. Literally a robot. You know they make that now, human like robots. Sorry, go ahead.
And Klobuchar, I think, sets herself apart by being monotone and very very level about things. But that's part of her thought process too, and part of what makes her strong is the fact that she's a very level thinker. So
But with that
I'd hate to play
shaking,
chess with her.
with the shaking,
Yeah.
and with the voice shaking.
That doesn't bother me.
No, but she would be ripped apart in any debate with Trump. They'd be like, she was quivering, she was worried. That'd be a huge liability.
You know what?
Or Pence. We have to think about potentially, not that the Senate will convict or that they might, but they still can vote to not throw his ass out.
The Senate is never going to.
But the Senate can convict, and it doesn't matter. He can stay in.
Let's not do impeachment tonight.
No. Sorry, it's more. So much. Okay, so we were just finishing up on Klobuchar, and the emotionality of her.
Yeah.
And then that takes us to Kamala.
Well, no. It's Kamala, right? Kamala? Yeah.
Kamala.
Kamala is the warrior queen, without a doubt. I mean, if you want somebody in there taking somebody out, Kamala Harris is your person. I mean, she is strong, outspoken, direct. She thinks, all the way through to the very end of the problem, and then she sets out a way to conquer the problem. Harris had her best night, I think, since the first debate.
She had an outstanding night last night.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think the next two she kept trying to go after Biden
And it
go
just
after
like she
people.
just looked angry. And
Yeah,
maybe I like it
didn't.
that
I like the passion, but not so much.
Maybe I like her better when she's going after Gabbard because I don't like it.
Oh hell yeah! I wouldn't meet with a dictator.
But somebody asked me the other day, I'm so torn. I don't know how to choose. They all seem so good. And I'm like, well, that's the wonderful
You've still
part
got
about
4
this.
months.
And she said, I want to pick my fighter. And I said, if you really want a fighter, you want Harris. Harris is your person because she's going to, she's going to level you with words and legislation.
Early on, I liked Harris a lot. My one concern with Harris was her plans to do so much through executive order.
Well,
whether I agree with her or not on her policies, I do not like the continued expansion of executive order. We screwed the pooch, and it's been gone for the last 20 years, straight out the window. And I don't want to see that trend continue. And I think she would.
Agreed.
So, well,
because
now
she's strong. She's so direct.
Can we talk about Bernie?
Let's talk about Bernie because he did something amazing last night.
Yeah, he did.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, so one of the things I get after Bernie about is, and I've never met him, but one of the things that bothers me about Bernie is I think he is weak on foreign policy, and I think he's specifically weak on what he says about the Middle East, Russia, and Palestine. And
I loved what he said last night too.
Oh my gosh! So when he laid it all out and just laid it bare, and I think he's heard so much of the rhetoric from those of us that have heard him be mealy-mouthed and miss votes on Russia and miss votes on Palestine.
Did well.
And for him to stand up and say there has to be a Palestinian state, that there has to be a place for the Palestinian people to call home, that meant a lot to me. I mean, I have no dog in that hunt except that I'm a human being, and I can't stand the fact that the Palestinians are murdered for, you throw a rock and you get a howitzer, so in return. So there has to be a place for a Palestinian state. There has to be. And I was really proud of Bernie for taking a tough stance.
Yeah, he did
on
really
Russia,
good on that. Yep.
on the despots around the world, and on Palestine. So
Thumbs up, Bernie.
Yeah.
Although he didn't, I love it. His hair wasn't crazy.
Oh, his hair wasn't
he didn't
crazy.
Have crazy hair. Good job on the
whoever
Brill
did your-
cream or whatever.
Yeah, it's a new
Well
good new
done.
product.
Yeah, but I didn't feel he had the same energy.
He
that
did not
he
have the
had
energy.
after the heart.
I don't think it was that. I
No,
just think
after he had his
stint.
stint, he was vibrant and
He was trying too hard.
No, he was color. His cheeks were pink. He just looked so much better.
Yeah.
And he still looked okay, but I didn't get that same vitality from him.
I didn't get the vitality from him, but then again, I didn't hear that much from him. When he delivered,
But
he
he was
delivered.
also less angry.
Oh, yeah.
He was way less
We
angry.
love less angry Bernie.
Thumbs
We
up.
love intelligent, thoughtful, thought-provoking Bernie.
Absolutely.
I get tired of Bernie in his one line, I wrote the damn bill. I know you did, and we love you for it, So,
we go to Elizabeth Warren.
and, Warren,
She didn't get a lot of time last
she
night.
didn't get a lot of time because she's not the front runner.
Ah, true.
So they like to go after the front runners. And I think that the 4 moderators that they had last night kept everything in check. I think that they did a great
were
job.
amazing.
Oh,
And the questions were ridiculous.
So
Rachel
much
Maddow.
better.
Oh, you guys were out of this world.
you were the best ever.
Yeah.
Not just this cycle, ever.
I
So
agree.
I go ahead.
Elizabeth, I didn't. She
She expanded her Medicare for all to give some absolute details. And the 2% tax, or 2-cent tax, I get it. Elizabeth, you need to move on to a different subject besides pounding the billionaire tears. And I hope I'm getting a mug for Christmas of billionaire tears. But I guess I really love it. I think it's hilarious. But it's time to move on to a new tagline.
I think that she's
Go back to I've got a plan for that, because that was
Yeah.
working for you.
and I this billionaire war thing.
It's not going well.
Well, it would
isn't it?
if there weren't 3 billionaires in
On
the
the
race.
stage. Yeah.
And 3
No,
billionaires.
2 on the stage.
2. Well, and Yang is
Yeah.
million, almost
Yeah.
billion, isn't he?
I thought he was billion.
Well, then that's 3. Steyer, Yang, and
He wasn't on the stage last night because he just got into the race from New York City, Mayor
2.
Bloomberg.
So there are 2 billionaires on the stage
Yeah.
who are incredibly philanthropic and intelligent
Yes.
and compassionate. And I think that really dispels the demon, dispels the
You got to get Jeff Bezos up there.
the corporate monster ideology. I mean, yeah, you do
Yeah.
still have Jeff Bezos. And
No,
you
I mean, she's
still
got to take them
have,
out, because
Mark Zuckerberg.
right,
but-
Zuckerberg. Oh.
But they,
Yeah, she doesn't have. There's not a real enemy on stage.
right. So when you're talking about billionaires,
Yeah.
we get it. There's a lot. I would stop saying billionaires. I would say unbridled capitalists.
Oh, I love that.
Unbridled capitalists.
Liz.
This
Liz,
is what you need to do.
We're going to text this to you, unbridled capitalists, and we're going to give you that for free. Murray is a consultant, so
Yes,
if
I
you need
am.
her help.
Illinois, give me
Yeah.
a call. I kind of got the beat on folks around here.
And by the way, if you are interested in Elizabeth Warren, her delegation from her campaign is coming to Ottawa, Illinois, December 7th, which is a Saturday, 1 p.m. It's at the VFW Hall, which is right on LaSalle Street. I'll post the link. We were going to have it in Morris, but we had to move it today to Ottawa.
But she is not.
She won't be there, but former Senator Dan Biss from Illinois will be there, and they'll be talking about her policies, so you can ask about why it's not unbridled capitalist.
Unbridled capitalism.
So who do we got left on our list here?
Well, we've got 2 left.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? You want to go Uncle Joe or Tom?
Let's go Uncle Joe.
Oh, God.
Because I'm a lot more patient with Uncle Joe than
I am not. I am not. I am not.
Listen.
He'll still make a better president than Trump.
If he wins the primary, I'll work my butt off
I
for
will
Joe.
campaign and help and do everything I
love
can.
him.
But no. It doesn't matter if if Joe had nothing to do with that. It doesn't matter if, and it's been proven. Ukraine is
there was nothing.
investigated. The
Yep.
U.S. is investigated. No impropriety, but
Right.
it doesn't matter. That narrative is out there, and that narrative will be replayed all the way through the election. And I don't think he has the charisma and the forward and what's needed to get past that.
Well, here, let me give you a couple good points that he had. I think he gets right now a lot of hell on his marijuana policy, and I think he's got a long way to go on that.
Yeah, well, sorry. You're not for the legalization of marijuana. You're not my candidate.
Okay. Well, and let me say again, no matter, well, I'll save that for the end. My philosophy on legislation that's coming up under the next president. We'll wrap up with that.
We'll do another episode on that.
Okay. So here's the thing with Joe is that his foreign policy chops in the time that our diplomatic corps is in disarray, and we have a gutted White House. What do I want to say? Our foreign policy desk is completely gutted.
I have to say, you
What?
know what? You are 100% right.
He's the right person to take care of this.
Policy, credibility, leadership, being able to get the world to trust us again.
Joe is your guy. He is the
Right.
guy for foreign
But
policy.
Joe is not the guy for domestic issues.
Okay, so
Joe
he would
is
have to
not
bring
that
in.
guy.
He'd have to bring in a great vice president that could work on that, or maybe he should be vice president again and just.
I think he'd make a great vice president,
president
again. Or Secretary of State. Why not have
Yeah.
him be Secretary of State?
he would be amazing.
He could fix shit in a heartbeat because
Yeah.
of his credibility. He doesn't need to be
Well,
president.
and the thing with Joe is that, and I've told you, Marie, I think Joe has always been in this race just to drive Trump nuts because he says I'm going to beat him like a drum.
Okay,
and
I did
Trump
not
loses
like
his mind.
the
what?
the arrogance of well, we know Donald Trump doesn't want me to run against him. He said it like 4 times.
Well, because
I know.
Trump not only goes after him, but he has his despots, his little peewees around the world saying stuff. He should be taken out and beaten and all kinds of stuff.
Right, but
So,
still,
but Murray, don't you understand that keeps Trump from really attacking the other candidates? You've never seen him go after Yang. He minorly goes after the others that are actually senators.
He'll go after Yang as soon as Yang starts to jump in the polls.
Yeah.
And Yang will get a big poll bump.
He
I
will.
do
He had such a good
totally
night
think
last
he
night.
will.
But here's the thing. When I look at Joe, and I did get to shake his hand and meet him in person, thank him for ACA because it made such a huge difference in my family. He is a lot more robust at 77 than you give him credit for, than he gets credit for.
Absolutely.
I think maybe a little more
Would
robust
he
than
be
Bernie.
the healthiest president ever?
Healthier than the one we have.
Well, it wasn't that it. He was the healthiest president ever to take the Oval Office. What is
Orange
doctor
Caligula?
said? Yes, remember that in the beginning? He released his medical, and it was
all
that
in the
letter from
genes.
the doctor.
He thinks he's got these fabulous genes, our current president, but too many hamburgers.
So overall, I agree. Joe Biden is phenomenal. I'd
Yeah.
love to see him as Secretary of State. I think he'd be
I
ridiculous.
would be happy to call him president. I mean,
I would too. But I think that he would have too much baggage and too many questions for the conspiracy theorists and the
Oh
right
my God, they'll
news.
come up with conspiracy
But I'm
theories.
saying there's
Theories.
just
Yeah.
enough out there that I don't think.
Well,
it
he's got a
will.
long public history. And of course, and he's got, Hunter has always been his wild child. And God knows, I've only got 2, neither one of them's wild. But, I've got siblings that went wild. And we're going to talk about that on our how to deal with
Thanksgiving show.
our Thanksgiving show, which we're going to
So-
drop on Thanksgiving. So,
So if you're tired and sick of your family, or you might want to listen
on
in
your drive.
on the way there,
and it's going to be hilarious.
we should drop it on Wednesday.
Oh,
so people
yeah.
have it the day before. We'll
And
drop it on Wednesday.
And we'll recommend an old fashioned or something with it, or eyeball.
Well, we got to finish our wrap up.
Okay.
So,
Wait, so last but not least
is Tom Steyer.
who is an amazing environmentalist. Amazing. This man is taking his billions of dollars, and thank you, Andrew Yang, for pointing that out, and trying to save the planet for all of us. Not for him, for all of us. He is an amazing person. He, and recently I've given him a couple bucks here and there because he has really great bumper stickers. And if you've seen my car,
He has lots of bumper
I
stickers.
love my bumper stickers. I'm getting a different car and I'm going to have to put them on magnets. But he doesn't get enough talk time, so we really don't know who he is. And now we're into the several debates. We've seen Tom Steyer, and we don't know too much more about him.
I thought that we learned a lot more about him well, just like Yang. They
Yeah.
got more mic time, and we learned a lot more about them and where they stand. And I'll tell you, my reservations about billionaires exist, but like we talked about, it's not billionaires that are bad, and they're showing that. J.B. Pritzker, I keep saying this over
We keep calling him out. We have to tag him.
J.B., you have proven
That billionaires have heart.
that, yes, it's not about how much money you have, it's about capitalism.
It's what you do with your money. And when you come from a lifestyle and upbringing of philanthropy, and certainly the Trumps did not. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. That's the Trump philosophy. But a Pritzker, a Steyer, a Yang, a Bloomberg, they were raised with, what's yours is yours. You get to keep it. Let me help you, elevate you so you can have more. And I don't mean more money. I mean sometimes more money, but a better planet, a better job, a better education, a better healthcare system.
So and we were talking about this in our pre-show. If Steyer wins, he has a large amount of resources that he will be able to use. Of course, we'll have to have donations and he'll need help, but the amount of help he will need will be much less than other candidates.
Yeah.
Therefore, that allows that money that would go to Steyer to be pushed down ticket. So for those vulnerable rep races, for those important Senate seats, those all the way down to your local level.
Right.
So
we saw that here in Illinois.
In Illinois.
Pritzker. Yeah.
Pritzker did an amazing job. He did a lot of self-funding, and because of that, other organizations were able to support down ballot candidates, and it worked out very,
Plus we'd have
very
a
well.
heck of a smart, nice man.
He's awesome. I really like
would be-
JB.
Oh, I thought we were talking about President Tom Steyer.
Oh! I love Tom Steyer, too. So my only reservation, he's a white guy, and he's older.
I did say I would not do another pasty
Me
white boy
too,
ticket.
But as I'm coming through, I really see these candidates develop. And
and they're more than pasty white boys. Right.
Yeah, even though they're a white guy, it's not all. So clear winner, clear loser last night. Who was yours, Heidi?
Well, okay. So here's how I divided the 10. And I love to do my absolute loser first.
Did we mention the punching thing from mine?
Oh, well.
Well, that'll be mine. I got it. That's my loser.
So my absolute loser was Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know who keeps giving her enough donations to keep her in this race. Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, this woman...
Lev Parnas?
It could be. Acting as a bot.
Igor?
Yeah. Well, you have to have enough individual donors, though. I think I might have kept Tom Steyer in by buying bumper stickers. But anyway, or helped keep them in. She was my absolute loser because she had no point except to be in there to fight with people and to call the United States poor, a bad place to be, and call all of her faults that I don't think exist. I had two people that really stuck out to me. Yang, of course, did an amazing job.
I agree.
But I'm going to say Cory Booker for the win.
Really?
Yeah, Cory Booker for the win. And I've always said he was handsome. I never was a huge fan, but I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, he did a great job, but I don't know if I could win. But that's okay. Good. That's your
In the middle, I had Uncle Joe, Harris, Warren, Pete, Sanders. All kind of had an average to below average day. In fact, I put Sanders, I had him down except for the comments that he made on relations in the Middle East and in Palestine. I had him losing because I thought he had a terrible performance last night, except for that. So so who was your winner or who was your loser?
Well,
Or which one do you want to finish up with?
my loser absolutely was Gabbard. And not just because I despise her isolationist systemic racism,
Right.
but because of the content of what she said. There wasn't a lot behind it. Like Heidi said, it was very attackish.
Yeah.
It was, and what did come out, was it thoughtful the way
No.
the other candidates
It wasn't.
were?
This is how we achieve a
And it
wonderful
wasn't
future.
forward thinking. It was
No.
back to talking points she's used before.
Before.
Where most of the other candidates gave you new policy,
Right.
new ideas.
I
new
dropped something
plans
again.
in areas we haven't discussed.
Yeah. Sorry, this happens every show.
All right. So you can donate a table for the side of the studio. There we
I'll
go.
just trip over it.
But so I would have to say that she definitely was the loser.
Yeah.
Winner, Andrew Yang.
Yeah, that was really close for me.
Yang and Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala.
She had a pretty good.
I thought she was kind of outstanding. I am getting a little tired of the same.
Well, she bounces. She bounces when she talks, and it's kind of getting on my nerves. So,
Although, no, I wouldn't say she. I'd say she was top 3, and I think my second was Steyer.
it's just here. I had a great night.
Steyer had an amazing night. So those would be our winners and losers. Well, thank you so much for joining in.
Yeah.
We need you to
Pull
subscribe,
my bag.
to like,
Yeah.
to share.
Yes.
Because all of that helps us. If you're feeling like giving Tuesday is coming up very soon.
We're
You
not a charity, though.
No, or you can donate. And we're not a company either, so you can donate to us. That
Yeah.
would be amazing.
Right.
And we appreciate all of your support. We appreciate all the times you reach out.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe.
Heartland Mamas, MAMAS.com.
Today we are being sponsored by Woodland Meadows.
Woodland Meadows is actually my horse farm, Murray. And we have small business
Saturday
coming up. Yeah, so Small Business Saturday. If you want to get your horse crazy kid riding lessons for Christmas, you got to hit me up. And we do farm tours and we do birthday parties.
Private parties.
Yeah, we do private parties and corporate events. We also have a facility here for...
It's a beautiful property.
It's
you
muddy
have
today.
to come see it. It's just beautiful.
It has its moments. And we also have a center here for soldiers, veterans, and first responders with PTSD that can come and get free services here. So if that's you or if you know somebody, please have them. Anybody who's been had trauma in their life and needs help with PTSD. We're not a therapy center. However, horses in and of their own are therapeutic.
So how can they reach Woodland Meadows?
Woodlandmeadows.com.
Oh,
Or
there's
you
a
can
website.
you can call the farm 815-795-6596. It is a landline. You'll probably have to leave a message because I'm always outside. Nobody's in the farm office. So
thank you so much for joining in. Next on Sunday, we will be having a
Recap of
impeachment recap. Lots of juice, lots of exciting things.
Yep.
And then we'll be doing a special episode
yes.
for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. You can listen to it on your way home or the night before when you're stuffing the bird.
We're gonna
on how
give
to
you-
survive your family.
Yeah, we're going to give you all the help you need to survive your family because we know.
Lord, do we know.
So take care now.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.